had a plan. Chester's role at UWC was not only limited to coaching, as many people would think. Through the Chester Williams Foundation, many rugby players from UWC received bursaries, funding for food, for transport and accommodation. But he always told us never to brag about those things, because he was not giving in order to get credit. He was giving because it was the right thing to do. UWC has lost a good man, a role model and a hero. Personally, I've lost a friend, a brother, and a confidant. To everyone at UWC Sport, I want us to always remember that Chester has left a good legacy, and it is our responsibility to make sure that his legacy lives on. To the family, Chester may be gone, but his spirit will always be with you. UWC Sport will always be your second family. Please call upon us in time of need. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you.
So we're going to have a bit of a musical interlude, and that'll be courtesy of the UWC choir. But before and while they get ready to serenade you, I've got two letters. I'm going to read the first one of these letters right now, and these are from partner universities. And this message comes from President Katsuyuki Otomo, and that's from Asahi University in Japan, a UWC partner university. And the message reads as follows. I feel great sorrow at the passing of legend Chester Williams. I truly respect his many years of distinguished playing days and activities in rugby, and cannot forget the time that he shared with us. I pray that he may rest in peace. And that again from Asahi University in Japan, one of the UWC partner universities. So I'm going to hand you over to the choir right now, and they will serenade you. Actually, while the choir gets ready, I think I'll read that second letter as well, because they need to get ready, get comfortable. And this is a message from Missouri System, which is UWC's partner as well. On behalf of President Choi, the UMSAEP committee, and the entire University of Missouri community, we send our condolences in the wake of an incredibly challenging week to you and the UWC family. Our thoughts and prayers are with you and the families of Professor David Saunders, Chester Williams, Valentino van der Heide, and Jesse Hess. The loss of so many in such a short space of time is so difficult. I'm sure that the UWC community will pull together in hard times. And given the history of this community, we know that they will pull together. You can count on the support of many friends around the world, including many of us at the University of Missouri, who have shared both good and hard times with you over the last 33 years. Ladies and gentlemen, the choir.
Underneath the stars I'll meet you. Underneath the stars I'll greet you. And there beneath the stars I'll leave you before you go. Go gently. left me. I wonder if the stars regret me. At least you go gently, go gently. Here beneath the stars I'm landing, and here beneath the stars not ending. Oh, why on earth am I pretending? I'm here again, the stars befriending. They come and go of their own free will. Go gently, go gently, go gently, go gently. Underneath the stars I'll meet you. Underneath the stars you left me. I wonder if the stars regret me. I'm sure that if they only find me, they come and go. Go gently, go gently, go gently, gently, go gently, go
Well, you can give them another hand. I think that was really beautiful. All right, now, Minister Patricia de Lille, I can tell you, has known Chester and the family for the longest time and is probably the closest friend to this beautiful family. So, what a privilege to be inviting you up, Minister, as the keynote speaker this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, Minister Patricia de Lille, or as some of us like calling her, Auntie Minister Pat.
Good afternoon. Goeiemiddag. Moweni. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for the opportunity. I would like to announce that President Cyril Ramaphosa, with the powers vested in him in terms of the Constitution, has declared Chester's funeral an official funeral. And we want to thank the President for that. To the Acting Vice Chancellor, to the sports communities that are here, all the ex-Springboks, and indeed the team of University of Western Cape. And I deliberately coming to the family last, because I want to say to the family, thank you for sharing Chester with us. I thought I will speak more a bit about the lighter moments of Chester's life. We spent many times and hours together, and I've always known about Chester, but I met his wife first before I met him. And so the three of us used to go out together. And then one night, I will never forget, we were at the Sekebossie restaurant, and it was St. Patrick's Day. And the three of us are sitting at the dinner table, and I can see they keep on bumping each other. In the meantime, Maria was telling Chester to tell me that they are dating, and Chester's telling her to tell me that they are dating. And as the evening progressed later on, Chester picked up the courage and he says to me, "Patricia, I just want to tell you that Maria and myself, we are dating." I said, "No, I know, I can see that." And so since that time, we have traveled the journey together until I was also invited to go with, and Mr. Williams is here today, Chester's dad. We were now going to introduce Maria to the family. And Chessie was very naughty, so Maria wanted to show off to the family, and she's busy in the kitchen making tea. And then Chester came to call me, and he says, "Look here, this is the new South Africa, the whites are in the kitchen now." And we had a good laugh, and we also were served by her, but now she didn't know why we were laughing. Chester said, "Yes, this is the new South Africa. We've got the whites in the kitchen now." But you know what I will remember most about Chester is his care and love for the community. When we had this big drug problem in Cape Town, and we still have it, we ran this campaign to show that the drugs in our communities, it's not just a problem of that drug addict or a problem of their immediate family, but indeed, it's a problem for all of us. And we had Chester's face all over Cape Town to say, "I have a drug problem." And it's exactly the response that we wanted, because people started phoning Chessie and said, "Chessie, are you now on drugs?" And Chessie said, "No, it's to bring about awareness of drugs in our communities." So he really loved his community. He gave a lot back. And like Kino was saying, he never wanted to be praised for it. It was just within him as a person. And University of the Western Cape, thank you also for giving him that opportunity for the last 4 years to use that brilliant mind and talent to give back to our young South Africans. I am sad that, you know, the talent, the natural talent and potential of Chessie was never really recognized in his own country. Chester had to go and coach in foreign countries, Romania, Uganda, Tunisia. And I can remember one week when he came home, I said to Maria, "I'm going to talk to Chessie." And I said to Chester, "You know what, Chessie? Your children are growing up without you. Don't go back to Romania. We will find a way together to survive, because we can't let you go back to Romania for another year." And between Maria and Chester and myself, we had discussions as to how the family was going to survive. And so that is my only regret that I have, is that I would have loved to see Chester making a much, much bigger contribution in our country. We were great friends. He used to love to make potjiekos and a braai at the same time. And he used to make big pots because Maria doesn't have a small hand. She always gives you a plate this high. And so we will sit at the braai, and his favorite, PJ Powers, he will play all PJ songs. And until I would say, Jessie, can we sing something else? And then both of us loved this song called O ek wil huis toe gaan na mama toe. Die rivier is voor my trane rol. 'n bokkie wat vanaand by my wil hê, sy kan maar lê, ek is 'n los lappie. So, you know, he was a dear friend. He was like a son to me. You know, there's one thing that Chester and myself, we never spoke politics. Because, you know, I always just wanted to have that positive energy and to enjoy his friendship. When Chloe and Matthew was born, I was upset because Mandela saw them before me. But he absolutely loved Chester. Because, you know, as a visionary in our country, what happened at the 1995 World Cup, and I see Francois, everybody is here, we will never realize what that event did for our country. Sports is a unifier, and that is what happened on that day in 1995. And even today still, everybody remember that. And I'm sure his rugby colleagues are best placed to speak about him on the field. I don't even know the rules of rugby. I just watch a rugby and I see when they score and I scream together. So I'm sure they will be best placed to speak about that. But as we have to get used to a life without Chester going forward, there are just so many beautiful memories. He gave us the most beautiful twins in the world. He was very protective about his children. To him, it was like everything. Maria has always been the bubbly one in the house and talking. And I always said, Chester, why are you so quiet? He said, because he doesn't get a turn to speak. Maria, just keep on speaking. But he used to adore it. He used to love it. And he used to call her Mary. He used to call her Mary, the only one. We all called her Maria, but he called her Mary. And she is very naughty. I warned her last night. I said, Maria, I know you're very unpredictable, but please behave yourself tomorrow. And she has promised to do just that. So to UWC, to South Africa, we've lost a legend, we've lost an icon. But let us continue with the baton where he left it. He's run a good race. He has shown us in a short space of 49 years what he has achieved. And as we take our country forward, let us make sure the door that Chester has opened for more people of color to come into the Springbok team, that we must continue to keep that door open. To all the rugby legends that we have in this country, and there are many, continue the good work that you are doing as legends. I know about the clinics that you've been doing and how Chester used to go with you to all of these clinics. Because rugby is a unifier, and we must continue to build the sport in our country. So thank you very much for the opportunity. You know, I wish I'd met Mandla under different circumstances. We were there together Friday night. And today, Mandla, we are here to say goodbye to your friend. God bless.
Now, Maria, joined by the twins, and Ryan will be joining you soon. I'd also just like to acknowledge Chester's dad, who's here. It's also, and his brother, at least, sorry. But I think of what Minister DeLille just had to say, and I have to agree with you. This is a man who had a lot of passion for his country. A lot of passion for his country, and I would have loved nothing better than for Chester, and I think everybody here agrees, nothing better than for Chester to actually play a more pivotal role in rugby over the last couple of years. But before we move on, Jerome Paardewater is the FNB Varsity Cup Technical Advisor, who will address you right now, and followed by Maria, and also joined by her wonderful children.
Auntie P, I was going to sing, but you took my spot now, so I won't do that. Good evening, everybody, rugby people, friends, and people from various sport fraternities. Maria, Uncle Wilfred, thanks for affording me this opportunity to speak about a legend, a friend, a father, a brother, a friend to everybody. And today I'm not going to say Chester was my best friend, he is my best friend. And I will always remember Chester. And what I'm going to speak about today, guys, I'm not going to be long, because Chester was not a guy of many words. He used to do what he had to do and go on. And also to say in 5 minutes that I have about a legend, and to talk about a legend in 5 minutes and what he's done in his life. But I will assure you, I'll try my best, and I'll do whatever I have to do in this 5 minutes to let you know how much Chester means to me, to my family, to everybody, and how every day we were talking once or twice at home. If my phone rang, Maria, my wife, and my 2 children were joking. They say, pick up the phone, it's Uncle Chester's on the phone, even if it's not Uncle Chester. That's how much we were talking. And I was privileged on Thursday to say goodbye to Chester. And it was strange for me that it must happen like that, because Chester normally pop in at our high performance center at Western Province where I coach, and then I stay and we talk. But on Thursday, he stayed the whole training session and we were talking. And Manla, one thing that we were saying is that on Monday, we're going to talk about the Varsity Cup and about the players that you want. And I said, yeah, Chessie, let me, because I'm also coaching the Western Province under 21 side, and we had a final in Bloom. So I said, let me just finish this final, Chester, and then Monday we're going to talk. And I must say, Maria, on Monday, we were going to talk at 10 o'clock. After 10 o'clock, and I'm not lying, my phone rang. And it was Chester's number on my phone. And it was Maria phoning me. I don't know how it happened, but it happened. And I was glad, because I couldn't believe that Chester is gone. So I was so happy when this number comes up on my phone and it's Chester Williams. And I said, yeah, he's not dead. But I was dreaming. But in saying that, as a rugby player, I was also fortunate to play with Chester. And we've played a lot of games together for Western Province. We've taught with Western Province. And I remember, and I see Gert Smal here, we played against the Queensland Red. That 93 was the first time that Western Province ever taught overseas. And we played against the Queensland Reds in Queensland, in Australia. And Chester and Tinus Lenie were the centers. And they were facing, at that time, Francois, I think the best centre pairing was Tim Horan and Jason Little. Now Chester was big, Tinus was bigger than Chester, but Chester also always wanted to tackle harder than Tinus. And at that day, we were playing, and they were tackling Jason Horan and Little, and they couldn't believe that this small guy, basically they were like, I think later on in the game they said skip, because it can't go on like that. And afterwards, Jason and they were talking and said, but who's this guys? And not knowing that this little guy is going to make South Africa proud one day, and he's going to be a superstar, and he's going to be a legend, and he's going to be a hero. And that's Chester Williams. And I also think, Gert, if I'm not correct, I think that was your last game, because you also tried to tackle people to death. And you tackle, I think it was Fergus Slattery. And at that day, I don't know why, everybody just wanted to kill that guys. Not a lot of people like the Australians, sorry. But at that day, it was like that. And yeah, and also just one more rugby story of Chester. We played against Namibia, and Davie Snyman was our coach, and we played in Namibia. So at halftime we came in, and we were leading comfortably. And Davie said to Chester, "Jy moet nou jou sokkies optrek. Trek op jou sokkies." So Chester said, "Coach, I'm trying my best. I'm giving everything. I'm trying my best." So Davie looked down to him and he said, "Trek jou kouse op. Trek jou kouse op." And Chester is a very precise and always very worried about what he wears and how he dressed. So his pants, he has to be neat. His rugby jersey has to be neat. But unfortunately, he didn't have the calves to pull up his socks. And during the game, knowing Tinus, so Tinus was going on in the whole game. So Chester, trek jou sokkies op, trek jou sokkies op. So that was yeah, and also Chester, coming to Chester as the coach, coaching UWC. He came to me and he said, "Jerome, I want you to help me at UWC." The previous, before Chester was Peter de Villiers. I also helped Peter de Villiers here at UWC. So I knew what was going on at UWC. So I said, "Chester, my friend, you know, we do everything for each other. I will help you, and whatever you need from me, I will do." And then he said, and I asked him, "But how are you going to do this?" So he said, "One thing that we need to get back into UWC is discipline." So I said, "Yeah, Chessie, I know, because he was a corporal in the army, and it's one thing about him." And time was everything for Chester. So, and he said, "No, don't worry, you will see how we're going to do this." So I think the first 2 training sessions, because we started to train at 7 o'clock in the morning pre-season. So guys were coming late, and there was about 35 guys. And I think we end up with 25 guys. And I said, "Chessie, we need players." He said, "No, discipline is very important," which I know. And I said, "But we need these players." He said, "No, you'll see." So the next morning, and then Chester was also good in saying this, and the players will know from UWC, "I never want to see you at this field ever. You don't come back." But, and I said, "Chester," and some of his it's players that we really need. He said, "No, I don't care. They don't come back." The following morning, the players are back, training, and I look at Chester. He said, "No, they've learned. So don't worry about that. And yeah, and so that's how Chester lived his life. He was disciplined, time was everything. And also for me, Chester is at a young age that he died. It's what he has achieved in his life. It's not many people that can write a book in his life. It's not many people that can win a World Cup in his life. It's not many people that carry the torch at the Olympics for South Africa. And lastly, it's not many people that can have a beer named after him. So make sure if you go out here, you go get a beer. And it must be a Chester lager. Don't drink the IP. It's very strong. Then also to the UWC boys, the rugby guys, please, I know it's holiday now. And one big concern for Chester was, last week when we were talking, we were going through the squad. One big concern is, he said, Jerome, we can put names down and we can talk about the squad, but these guys, will they get their 60 credits? So guys, when you leave here now, and I know it's holiday, go open your books for next week and make sure you get your 60 credits. Lastly, Chester, my friend, rest in peace. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Jerome, for that tribute. You know, you find out a lot about people by just watching them. And I remember the first time I went out with Maria and with Chessie the one day, you guys went through to an informal settlement and you took a whole lot of stuff, and they did this regularly. A very giving, loving, amazing couple. And you sometimes look at them and they've been married for so long, and then you say to yourself, how in the world did they do it? But you have. The most loving couple, man. Whenever Chessie spoke about you, the jokes that flowed between the two of you, it wasn't a pretense. It wasn't. It was genuine love. And I'd like us to, because I see we're getting a little bit more celebratory, which is great. So if we can put our hands together for a legend, ladies and gentlemen, Chester Williams. Yes. Now the floor, Maria, is yours. Ladies and gentlemen, Maria Williams and her wonderful children. Okay, if we can just get a handheld mic for Maria, I think. I'm not sure if you're going to sing, Maria. We're going to leave that for PJ, eh? No, it's okay, stand there. We'll organize a handheld mic for Maria.
Can you hear me? Good afternoon, everybody. Firstly, I'd like to thank you all for being here, for taking time off and celebrating the life of Chester Williams. Mandla, Professor Dubé, Patricia DeLille, Honourable, my father-in-law, my brother-in-law, my family and all the friends, but especially to his rugby players. Thank you, Jerome, for your kind words. PJ Powers, I want to thank you in advance for coming. He loved you. Mandla, I want to start with you, and I want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for everything that you did for Chester. 4 years ago, you allowed Chester to come and start his career in South Africa. All his life, he had to fight to get a position in South Africa. Us as a family lost so many years of him being with us due to the fact that every door was closed to him. It's such a sad reality, but it is a reality. But Mandla, you kindly opened the door for him, and you allowed him to spend the last years of his life with us, the most imperative years where his children needed him more than anything else, growing up as teenagers, the most difficult years to bring up children, and you allowed that. And we all salute you for that. He had a passion to the youth, to the players here, and to his coaching staff. He loved you all so dearly. He had a passion to develop young players. He would travel the country to find players and bring them to the fore. And we can be so proud of him today as a family. He worked day and night, and as Jerome says, he would have no problem in phoning Jerome early hours of the morning. Chester, even though he had an opportunity in South Africa, he reinvented himself somehow or another. But he made a success of his life. He never had the opportunity to represent South Africa as a coach, but that was okay. He represented UWC, who are our family today. Chester went to Romania for 2 years. For 2 years, Dandino allowed us to travel in and out the country to be part of his life. And we thank him for that as well. Patricia, I want to thank you very sincerely for all your help, and Pete Godwin, for everything that you have done for us at this most precious time of our lives, where we are so vulnerable, but we have stood the test of time. And I know that we have very special friends who are sitting here today, and we know that you will be here for us later on. Could I ask the players to come up here, please? All these varsity players. And his coach. Please come stand in front here with us as a family. Jerome? Hello, guys. I want each and every one of you, Bola, come stand here, you're so short.
Yeah, they've got something for you. All right, guys, if Jacques could just bring it through.
To the coach, to all of you, the coaching staff, I want to thank you all sincerely for standing by Chester and supporting him, because without him, without you, you could never have succeeded. You're only as strong as your weakest link, and you all made him strong. And to every single one of you players, I want you to know that Chester loved every one of you. You were his life, and you will always be his life. And he would like to see you succeed. And I want to urge you to never lose that fire and the passion, and remember what he taught you about teamwork, and to continue to strive for excellence. And I know that he is up there watching us right now, and I know that all your hearts are broken like ours are, but as us as a family, we want you to know that we'll always be there to support you as a team. And let's keep his legacy alive and continue to celebrate his life he would want us to. And once again, please remember that he loved you, and we as a family will watch you succeed the Varsity Cup, and we know that you will all go from strength to strength, and we salute you all as a family, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Jacques and the team.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chester's family. Now, the minister was telling you about the songs that Chester loved listening to and even singing. So we thought that it would be quite fitting not to sing Los Lapi, but actually to invite up onto this stage a phenomenal human being, PJ Powers.
Hi, everyone. This is to Chester Williams, the Springbok rugby player. This is for you. There's a dream I feel. so real. All the world in union, the world as one, gathering together, one mind, one heart. Every creed, every color, one joy never apart. Searching for the best in me, I will find what I can be. But if I win, lose or draw, there's a winner in us all. It's the world in union, the world as one, as we climb to reach our destiny. A new age has begun. We will face high mountains, must cross rough seas. We must take our place in history and live with dignity. Just to be the best I can sets the goal for every man. If I win, lose or draw, it's a victory. Soul, it's the world in union, the world as one, as we climb to reach our destiny. A new age has begun. It's the world in union. A new age has begun. You stand for Chester. Thank you. Thank you very much. When I spoke to Maria on Monday and she asked if I would do this song, I was extremely surprised. But this song I dedicate to Chester the man, not just Chester the hero and the rugby player and all of that. Chester the good man whose family came first, and his love of rugby, and his love, as the minister says, of puchikos and braai. And this is to celebrate this wonderful man's life. So I think it is appropriate, as inappropriate as it may seem, to sing and for me to dedicate and celebrate a wonderful, wonderful life, well lived. I've been playing in the rain at Jabulani, and I've been holding hands with you at Jabulani. All right, let's all sing it for Chester. Come on. Jabulani. The people sing and dance. Yes, there's always just a chance for you to find romance. Jabulani. Yeah, 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 yeah. You do it now.